Today I'm really excited to show you the Sequential Fourm. It is a 4-voice, all-analog synthesizer with 2 oscillators per voice, plus noise, going into a really beautiful resonant filter, and when you crank the resonance, the bass stays because it's compensated. All of the voicing sounds a lot like the Prophet 5 because it's using the same chips as the Prophet 5 Rev 2. But the user interface is really beautiful in that it's looking like the Pro 1 by Sequential. I used that thing for years and I loved its fatness. I loved using it as a lead synth. I loved the sequencer, but also I really loved how you could get to all the modulation stuff in real time. And this thing goes way beyond that because on top of the standard pitch and mod wheels and the very cool modulation section, you now have polyphonic aftertouch, which can be switched to mono aftertouch if you want it. All of that for a knob per function synthesizer that fits this small. And yeah, it's got small keys and yeah, it's only 3 octaves, but I think of this as a module that just happens to have keys on it that I can use for certain situations, but it's got 5 pinned in on the back. You can put an 88-note controller on this and really go to town. The true analog oscillators go from down there all the way up to there. So you've got a huge range on the oscillators. Oscillator A can have saw or pulse, and you can adjust the pulse. And it goes all the way to 0 on both ends, which I really like. You can also have pulse and saw. Oscillator B has the same sawtooth and pulse waves as A, but it also adds a triangle wave. And like the above ones, you can add them. So you can get different combinations there. And you can turn on the sync button to sync oscillators A and B, and then change the frequency of A and get this. Or you can assign a controller to it, like the polyphonic aftertouch. And the modulation is both simple and yet can be very powerful. This is because of some really exciting features with the LED lights on this. So for example, if I want to send LFO, triangle wave, directly to frequencies A and B, I just turn those on, I turn on the LFO, and I can turn it up. If I want instead to go through the mod wheel, I just turn it blue, and now it has to go through the mod wheel first. And now if I want something that's direct, which is red, and something that's blue to both go to those things, I just change these to purple. So I've got filter envelope doing the pew, EQ, and I've got vibrato. Both are working, and both are going to the same destination, which is marked in purple. And there's a unison mode that turns it back into a monophonic synthesizer. But you could stack up to 4 of the voices onto that, so you can get super thick. Here's one voice, 2 voices, 3, and 4. Mixer section, you have control over the volume of oscillator A and oscillator B, but you've also got noise, and you can change the noise level as well as the noise type. So here's white, and I'll filter it. I'll filter it with some resonance. But we've also got pink noise, which is really good for percussion and other things. And we got violet, which is a much thinner noise. Better for hats and things like that. And then the last button in the mixer is feedback, which takes the output of the filter back to the input of the filter, so it overdrives itself, makes itself big and fat and gnarly. I'll start with it at nothing and then slowly bring it up. Well, that's just a really quick look at the amazing Sequential Fourm 4-voice analog synthesizer. I'm going to do a performance video as well. But for now, if you have any further questions, please contact your Sweetwater sales engineer.